Welcome to the Microsoft Security Insights Show. The show streams live every Wednesday on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and stream directly into your ear the following Friday across all popular podcast networks. Hosted by Edward Walton, Andrea Fisher, Rod Trent, and Brody Castle, the Microsoft Security Insights Show provides information, news, and tips on Microsoft security solutions. Here we are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Microsoft Security Insights podcast show experience. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Today is April 26th. It is 3:03 p.m. Mountain Time. And who just dialed in? Is that the world's sexiest man, Edward Walton, coming in from his mother's basement in a suit jacket? What's going on over here, Edward?
Hey, man. You told me I was a salesperson. I got to look the part.
You look the part. You're kind of creepy in the dark there, and you got a sales jacket on. That's good. That's good. I mean, can you give me some licensing numbers on E3, E9, E7? Can I get a discount? Can I get a coupon?
I don't know why it's creepy. I'm in. Yeah, and something's beeping. The same thing that was doing it last time, Rod. I'm like, somebody's watching me.
Yeah.
You guys don't hear it, right?
No, we don't hear it.
It's hypnoptizing me.
It could be because you're at a shooting range. I'm not sure.
Yeah. What's going
on? You said hypnotizing you. Oh, because of the light?
Oh. Where are you? It seems like a dangerous place.
He's in the bunker. He's in the bunker.
Is it?
Yeah.
Stock price goes up and you go into the bunker?
Yeah. Do you have canned goods back there somewhere?
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I thought we were going to watch Edward lose his hand.
Why don't you? Yeah, there you go. No.
Yeah, see all the weapons?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's what you hear me? I asked if you had canned goods back there somewhere. I grew up with this is a funny story, a little anecdote. I grew up with, kind of survivalist kids in high school, and they always wore the, like the camouflage and everything. And we would always say, what are you going to do with your life? I'm like, well, I'm going to get married, have kids. What are you going to have kids for if the world's going to end? And he's like, well, we need something to eat if we run out of food.
True.
Or your own food.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
True story. I have lots of true stories like that.
That's terrible. Oh, my goodness.
So it was RSA this week. So lots of cool Microsoft news has come out.
Oh, my God. There is so much news.
Favorite announcements.
Andrea, what is it?
Mine is it's gone from private preview to public preview, which is the Sentinel workspace manager feature. I have a bunch of customers that have multiple Sentinels, and it's super hard to keep all the analytical rules straight, do cross, workspace queries, and the wonderful workspace manager is going to simplify all of that stuff a lot.
That's awesome.
Anybody want to see what that looks like? I have it set up in my environment. Probably.
Yeah. Sure. Why not? Why not, Rod? We got a minute.
I'm surprised Andrea hasn't gone into my environment that she owns and set it up.
Yeah, no doubt.
I try not to do too much. Oh, Noodle, you're so sweet. Yes, I'm back. Thanks for missing me.
No, we miss Andrea. And Edward, you really turned around your
I know. Now it's like a whole new place.
Yeah, you look presentable and bright and still in a dangerous location, but that's okay. That's quite the man cave you got going on there, bud.
It's not my house.
So, Brody, tell us your favorite. Well, I was waiting to try to kill some time.
There you go.
Rod got it turned on. So, listeners, Rod is actually showing us what the workspace manager looks like.
This is what it looks like. You have to have at least 2 workspaces, and then you go into settings and you enroll one of the workspaces as the primary, which is what this one is. Then this workspace manager blade shows up, and all of the workspaces that you manage show up in here, and I can actually go into each one of these, and I can deploy anything from this primary workspace to these other subsequent workspaces that I'm managing in here. Analytics roles, all the, content
queries,
everything. Super cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I could have swore that was my idea a while back.
Really?
I got to go back through my emails. I could have swore that was an idea of mine. My idea was it should have allowed you to use the secondary space as your backup or DR as long as the ingestion was the exact same, it didn't cost you, something like that. I was making up stuff. So my favorite announcement?
Yes, Edward, what is yours?
I don't have one.
Don't steal mine. Okay, great.
Quarterly readout, financial readouts to the investors. Stock is up. Had to go out and talk to everybody.
Yeah.
But I did learn something today.
Oh, go on.
MDI. So one of the customers was like, "Hey, we want to stand this up," but they were very insistent that because of the learning period, that they would always have a gap in coverage in the heuristics if they didn't onboard all of the domain controllers with the sensor at the same time. Technically, yes. So they would have a running X N minus 30. N being the day that you put it on with a 30-day countdown from the time you put your first one in. So if I put one in on Monday, that one's got 29 days. And then if I put another 2 on, so that's N minus whatever days. This feature was in ATA, went away. It was in Azure Advanced Threat Protection, and it went away in MDI. I can't say that it went away, it wasn't there. How do you override the 30-day learning period?
How?
MDI.
There's a little switch you can turn on.
And that switch has eluded me because it wasn't there at first. Or you couldn't turn it on for some reason. And then today I'm like, oh, you can do it. What I'm also trying to do is create a solution, because what if a sensor is purposely offline because it can't get to the internet, but it knows it's not getting to the internet, right? Because of the situation. How do you suppress those particular alerts in the health sensor health? So I'm working. I think I know how to do this. I'm gonna try it out in the lab, but the situation is think of a what they drill oil with, oil rig. They may not have consistent internet, and they may be offline for a while, right? So they want to be able to not have those sensors alert on health. I thought a feature that was going to manifest inside MDI was the same thing allowed around patching. You know how you can have one PC that you download the patches and the other PCs talk to it.
Fan out.
It didn't make this round. That's one of my inputs. We need to have sensor to sensor updates, meaning if one sensor is down, it can use the sensor of another, or if a sensor needs an update, it can update across. So let's write that up.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't.
For anybody that
do
doesn't know, MDI stands for Microsoft Defender for Identity, which is our sensor that goes on the domain controllers.
I think the customer says it stands for the sensor might die intermittently, right? But yeah, good use case, because now another person has said I got the same use case, but they're on ships.
Oh,
and
yeah,
ships not in
ships or submarines, right? Yeah,
fair.
Yep. So I'm working on that to see if we can come up with something. I think I got an idea, but I need to get in my lab and have a couple of beers and I'll figure it out.
Sweet, bud. Good times.
I did an EBC today. Hopefully,
you look. That's what you. Yeah, you're wearing a suit. Good job.
I did it for Publix supermarket. Interesting. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Well, shopping is a pleasure.
We called it something else when we were kids.
Shopping's a pleasure.
And I said that to all their CISO and everything.
That's the tagline. That was my first job, was working as a cashier at Publix.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
And let me give you a little thing. You got to know your audience. Publix is not known to be inexpensive, but the quality is high. Can you agree, Andrew? You go there, you're good.
It's the only place you can go when you visit Florida, so that's all I know.
Know your room, people. Why? Yeah, I'll tell you guys offline.
Okay, don't get in trouble.
I won't get in trouble.
What's that? You want to hear my favorite announcement from
favorite
RSA?
Yeah.
Oh my
Brody.
goodness, great idea. I
do.
love this new naming taxonomy. How cool is this, right? So it's Earth climate, right? Earth climate. So obviously the table of elements was going to run out at one point. And so Microsoft's like, we got to scale. We need some new taxonomy when it comes to talking about our threat actors. And they come up with these really cool icons, these really cool not weather, because a tsunami's not a weather event. I learned that on an internal call. Earth climate, I think, is the most safe way to say this, where we can identify different countries, right? Different actor groups based on weather, or sorry, I did it again. Earth climate, and then it maps down. Like you can have so we've got like a whole table on this blog article, which will be in the notes, in the show notes, absolutely, talking about specific countries and their family names, and financially motivated versus influence ops. I think it was a well done overall. Some of these names are hilarious, like Mint Sandstorm. Like kind of sounds tasty, but kind of sounds not tasty at all. Rod, you have an opinion on this?
So let me ask this question: if it's just like the hugest, most massive attack ever, can we just call it climate change?
No, because that's too polarizing.
Okay. All right.
Or what about an asteroid?
I thought I had an asteroid, yeah, or
comet.
How about alien invasion?
That's what I knew you were going to say. That
alien invasion for sure.
For our listeners who are not getting the visual cue from the description here, if Brody would scroll back up, I'm not going to spoil it. I want you guys to go see the show notes. Instead of having the elements named, now I'll give you an example. Like Russia is not designated as blizzard, and then midnight. It has an arrow over the midnight blizzard, so I don't know why is that like really bad Russian. Iran and Sandstorm.
Group. So midnight is a different actor group within Russia, so it's midnight blizzard, and then forest blizzard is a different group that's within Russia, right? So the commonality is the country for the Earth climate event, and then they come up with I think it's colors or shades. The other
now it makes sense. They named the table family name. All of them have the last surname, family name. Duh.
It's all good, buddy. So anyway, it's cool. It's interesting. The internal call where they explained it all, it made a lot of sense. There was a lot of fun jokes about like, what would you call Canada? So there's some funny ones in there. Countries won't be listed in countries that are potentially friendly. Countries will be listed in threat intelligence reports moving forward, but they won't be called out in tables. I think Microsoft's just being careful about its allegiances.
Well, tables are kind of like prisons because of the four walls, right? So,
yeah, whatever. Roy, what was your threat actor name? Andrew, what was yours? We were playing around coming up with our names. You didn't have one?
Squall Line was mine.
Squall Line. Mine was Bomb Vortex.
Where do you guys look this up? What's my threat actor name? What is my...
Oh, no. You've just given me an idea for my next little AI chat bot. It's going to be a create your own
APT name. Oh yeah, threat actor name.
All right, I will publish that publicly. By the way, maybe people can have fun with that.
Awesome.
I do have a favorite thing. I do have a favorite thing that happened was announced this week.
Yes,
and it kind of leads to our guest who is so quietly, patiently sitting in the green room.
So patient.
Yeah, this is our. I can't believe this. This is our very last episode for Misa Month. Right. So all of these great partners that we've had on over the course of this last month has led to this Monday. It was Monday. Mona, shake your head if I was correct. It's Monday. Okay. Monday. I can see her in a green room. Monday was the awards for our Misa partners, Misa members. And this, for those that are watching instead of just listening, these are the winners. Couple I'm going to point out for those listening in. We have had Ontenu. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah.
Ontenu.
Yeah. Ontenu on, and they won the Security Services Innovator Award this year. Next month, was May 10th, I think, the Security Customer Champion Award was won by Vector. They will be on with us next month to talk about what they do. But tonight.
Oh, hold on. We also have the security changemaker Red Canary has come on, and they've been on Red Team.
Not in the last month though, but yeah, they've been on before. They're friends of the show, so we do need to call them out. But we do have on tonight, which super excited. I think Edward probably knows this company more than any of us because he's worked with them quite a bit. But we do have the winner of Security MSSP of the Year on tonight.
Woo!
BlueVoyant. Mona is here with us today.
Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much. What's up?
Mona,
Yep.
I'm gonna start right off by ribbing you.
Oh boy.
You hate me so much you won't come to Atlanta, and you canceled the meeting.
I did plan an event for you, Edward. We are going to be there. We're actually doing a tour of lots of cities. I did an event a couple weeks ago. We did in New York City. May 17th, we're going to be in Chicago. We've got Atlanta, Dallas, Los Angeles. We're getting out and meeting the people, man. You know,
Sweet.
one of my favorite
Well, you
movies.
got to
is
do the
The
tour.
Trap.
You got to carry
Yeah,
that
man,
award
you gotta
with
get out there
you.
and meet the
Yeah.
people, right? It's time to evangelize, right? It's time to, you know, create space for the conversations we need to have around Sim and XDR. And the webinars are great. You know, all these different formats are great, but you know, there's just nothing. I mean, I've been at RSA all week, so it's like I've been. It's like a spa cleanse for me. Seeing all these people, I feel like my pores are open. I feel great. Like they're like I'm an extrovert, right? I feel like I just had a spa cleanse, right? But what's been so great about all these opportunities is I have now booked us for Atlanta. So Edward, I'm gonna come see you. You should come and hang out with us at our event. And for any of you guys who are listening, if you want to come to any of our events, you're welcome to. We are putting the links on our LinkedIn page, so you can just go to our LinkedIn page and register, sign up for some of those events.
Cool.
But yeah, no, I'm glad to be here, and it's been an amazing week here at RSA.
Does this award, not that you need it, does it validate of a sense that we're headed in the right, I'm so part of BV now, I'm saying that you are, BlueVoyant is headed in the right direction when it comes to what you're doing, the way you're attached to Microsoft and staying, what's it, lockstep, what's going on? Is this a validation to say, see, we knew it, but now you know it?
Oh yeah. I mean, so you know, this is part of our DNA, right? We won this same MISO award 2 years ago. Last year we won Microsoft US Partner of the Year. This year we're back. You know, MISA Excellence, right? So. You know, I do love my middle name, but if I could choose a different one, it would absolutely be Excellence, right? I mean, BlueVoyant is ready. You know, we have been scaling like crazy. It has been an incredible journey over the past year. And this award really it means a lot. And yes, for that picture, in case you guys were wondering, Micah Heaton and I planned everything. We are the tiger team of BlueVoyant. So we came in our little tiger themed outfits and our blue suits for BlueVoyant. So it was great to be able to celebrate excellence with all of the people there. But I mean, I would like to see some more competition for best dressed. I mean, the Microsoft people brought it.
Calling people
I
out.
mean, we had people in Kung Fu outfits. Shirley Stragan looked
Nice.
amazing. She did a whole broadsword thing. It was incredible. We had a karaoke, beautiful, you know, karaoke being sung. You know, we got a full dance routine from Maria Thompson to The Greatest Show Ever. Which let me tell you, if you haven't seen Maria perform, I know she's like does Misa stuff, but she is a fantastic dancer. It just made the event like such an incredible experience because just in case you thought Microsoft people were cool because they do Microsoft stuff, every single one of those people have incredible other skills. Would never have guessed.
I have no other.
Never have dreamed of in a million years. I don't believe that for a minute. I don't believe that for a minute. But it's I mean, it was really a cool event. I mean, seriously, just to be able to see different sides of you know, our coworkers and being able to see, Vasil Chikal was up there dancing Saturday Night Fever. You know, it was incredible. You know,
That's awesome.
So I really love the event. I want everyone else to bring their game next year. So come on, dress up, everybody. Like, let's make it into a little bit of a more of a fashion competition. But
well, let's get BlueVoyant to pay for our travel expenses, and we'll be there.
Please do. And I will be there, and Andrew and I will sing a duet, right? And
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
A duet.
I will sing a duet. Andrew and I get up on stage.
Just ignore I said that. I'm sorry. It's a terrible joke. Thanks, Brody. Thanks, Dan.
I got it.
I got you, babe.
I got it. You will do what? I'm gonna do a duet. You'll do what?
We'll do "I Got You, Babe" by Sonny and Cher.
Yeah, we'll do that.
That'd be good.
We'll surely do it.
Just don't go skiing afterwards.
Congratulations to the BlueVoyant team. We don't choose favorites. We have good partners out there. But I'm gonna say what Mona didn't say.
Yeah, please.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. All right. Woo! Big Flair. Beat the man. You gotta beat the man. So what does that do? What does that do for you from not only just holding a heavy trophy and working out your biceps? Does this, drive, revenue and adoption of folks coming?
Yeah, I think it's a really great vote of confidence, right? Especially when it's not just once, right? I mean, what we want to show is that, BlueVoyant is not a fluke. BlueVoyant is not an accident. BlueVoyant is a strategy of meeting the customer where they are, maximizing their Microsoft investment, helping them see that consolidation of cyber tools, infrastructure, and design truly do allow them to meet their business outcomes. And from our perspective, being able to have not just one, not just two, not just three, even awards from Microsoft, showing every year our dedication to our customers, to our fellow Microsoft compatriots. It means the world to me, and it's so important to be part of this community and be part of MISA and show up, because everybody needs a mentor and everyone needs a hero. So if we're that for the next wave of up and coming young people, I want to be that for them, right? One of the great things about the MISA Awards this year is they honored, I think, close to 10 of the top winners from the Shadowhunter competition. They flew them out there.
I saw that. That's
all
really
from
cool.
the Last Mile Scholarship Foundation. And
That's
for those of you
great.
guys who don't know about Last Mile, it's really focused on folks who come up through community college or non-traditional, low income, types of struggles, and they deserve a place in cybersecurity. They deserve a place in our home. They deserve a place in our program, right? And to see those young folks be part of our community, be honored in that way alongside, companies like you mentioned, right? Including BlueVoyant, right? Really makes me feel incredible, because the MISA Awards program is now not just about partners. It's about growing the next generation of partners and the next generation of folks who are going to be part of our cyber defense squad, from here on out, right? Cybersecurity is a team sport. So I just had to give a great shout out to all the winners from the Last Mile Foundation for the Shadowhunter competition. Truly, really, really spectacular.
That's awesome.
I love that. That sounds, that's awesome. And your approach and kind of belief behind that, I think that really mirrors kind of the leadership of MISA as well, right? Maria and such. So it really, it just really goes to show that at some point, being that good, it's almost like cheating, right? So BlueVoyant keeps running all the. Yeah, you have to do something. You have to do something bad to let everybody else catch up potentially.
Or everyone else can rise to the occasion, right? What do they say? Rising waters lift all boats, right?
Yeah.
So we're here to keep the waters rising. We want to make sure that from a competency perspective, that we're here to set the bar, right? I demand excellence. Thanks for changing my middle name. Those around me, and it's been really tremendous to see an entire organization, our entire team at BlueVoyant, want nothing more than to just be there for our customers and be excellent.
One of the things, though, is that when you're this good, sometimes the only challenger is yourself. What are you guys going to stay in your lane and continue to advance your MSSP offering, consulting, or with the advancing technology, Copilot? Are you guys going to stay in step, or if you find yourself advancing faster than Microsoft? Because I think Rod has proven the tools to do this thing is really available, is the mind share. Because you took some stuff that were deficiencies in the way that Microsoft does MSSP stuff. You built your own, your IP. You find yourself saying, oh, this Copilot thing is a great idea, but we're going to do something different. And you're probably already doing something similar inside your own product.
I think what we want is to stay with what our customers need, right? And our customers will continue to need SIEM and XDR. They will continue to need help around design consolidation. I think our customers also will want and need help from things like Copilot. I do believe that getting the right group of partners brought in early and participating in discussions, everything from the ethical ones to the implementation ones, right, matter. And I think it's really up to Microsoft to decide how much they want to bring in partners and have them participate versus, how much Microsoft wants to do on their own. We want to partner. We've been a design partner for Microsoft probably for over 7 different programs in the last year and a half. It's something I take very seriously, and part of our job responsibility is as being excellent. And Copilot is no different than any other tool or product that Microsoft has. There are so many things that we can all do to participate in designing its future. And I want us to be right there along the way. So we absolutely have our OpenAI setup. We're dreaming about data lakes and ways to store data. We've been talking a lot about how to bridge the gap between a conversation that starts with SIM and also facilitates, the data science backend that customers will need to be able to process, post-process, right? SIM data or other data that they may choose not to put in their SIM. But we're certainly seeing a shift in the market towards designing for simplicity so that we can turn around and look at these new cool things, because the tech debt that SOC has been buried in for the last 5 years is not what anybody wants to be doing R&D around. And it's certainly not what we're doing at BlueVoyant, right? My own personal goal is to stay between 6 and probably 10 months behind Microsoft in terms of delivery and implementation to a managed service. What we find is, Microsoft likes to release stuff that's almost cooked, and, almost cooked is great, but for our managed services customers, we want to be able to make sure we say we tested it. We did our R&D due diligence. We show them the data. We actually did a really cool analysis, not to get too off topic, but we did a really cool analysis to the new M365 Defender connector to measure how much data comes out and what kind of the implications are for your Sentinel data ingest. But there are all of these kinds of like cool little opportunity things that, whether it's a customer-led thing or it's a Microsoft-led thing, design is in our blood. Our research and design is in our blood, and any opportunity to stay close to anything new with Microsoft or being a design partner is always going to be top of my list.
Yeah. You're a great spokesperson.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, and she does double duty when you think about it, right? Not only does she work for BlueVoyant, one of our MISA partners, and of course award winner, but she's also an MVP. She spent, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? Last week, maybe, potentially.
Yeah, last week.
MVP Summit last week. So, and again, I think that really talks to how BlueVoyant kind of approaches customers, because you're an MVP. Right.
Well, I'm not the only one either. We actually have two now at BlueVoyant. Eric Mannon, who has also been on the show before, got his MVP too. So we're proud to have two. We're going to try for more. But yeah, I mean, being a Microsoft MVP was a big goal of mine for this last year. It was something that, organizationally BlueVoyant wanted to support me on, and having an organization that wanted to stand behind me and behind my own personal goals has been really, really incredible. It's one thing to go and say I want to be an MVP. It's one thing to ask for the time to do things like blogs and work with different organizations. I'm going to be presenting at Global Azure in New York City in a couple weeks. Having the opportunity and the time to be able to go and do that, and having the blessing from my leadership team has been nothing short of incredible. But yeah, it's been really, really great to be not only a participant on the partner side, but also be a Microsoft MVP. And there's a lot of overlap there, don't get me wrong, but having the opportunity to connect with other Microsoft MVPs has been awesome. I had to cut out a whole part of my time to just go and spend time chatting with them, which is time I hadn't budgeted for previously. But I liked it so much, I really wanted to make it part of my regular stuff that I do every week. And it's been awesome, transformative. We really have some incredible...
Tell us something super cool that you learned MVP wise.
Or if you can.
We're not allowed to. Yeah, you're gonna get me in trouble. I just got my MVP. Everything's under NDA.
She was an MVP.
Yeah, you're gonna give me the shortest. What is it? It's just like the shortest marriages in cybersecurity. It'll be like the shortest marriage, the shortest MVP time ever. I can't talk about the things that I learned about, but I can tell you that the people and the insight in the conversations that I've had. I already used my, I felt like I had a spa cleanse, but I really felt like it was
dance for you at the MVP Summit, though?
No, I didn't have anybody dance for me, unfortunately.
I wish I had known you were MVP and up there, because Morton was there, who was on the show.
Dude, I know Morton. He's a cool dude. He and I go way back, man.
He got his MVP. He was the person that took the shortest time to get their MVP. Yeah.
He's got 2 MVPs. He has a security one and the hybrid.
You got the security one within like 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
Or-
yeah. I mean, that dude's a beast.
Yeah,
Mona,
crazy.
we assume your MVP is in security?
It is in security, absolutely, yes.
It's in Microsoft Pinball, that old Windows game.
Well, and I just have to say, like, one of the other things I'm super proud of is like being not only an MVP, but being a woman in cybersecurity who's also an MVP. Like, I just wanted to say for everybody out there who's thinking about doing this, like, you could do this too. If you want to be an MVP, like, there is a path and a plan. And I know you guys have done episodes, about how to get there and how to become a Microsoft MVP. But truly, if it's something that you're interested in or anything you want to pursue, don't let the concept that a year ago you didn't even know how to engage stop you. This was a goal I made for myself when I first got into the private security community, and I realized that this was the private security community was like this half a pinky's finger's worth of everything you can participate in. And it's just, I really encourage folks that if you're even considering wanting to get more involved in Microsoft, that there are so many opportunities to give feedback and build a path for yourself to get an MVP too.
So Mona, I have to disagree with you on one part of that.
Oh,
Not everyone can become an
disagree with me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
That's
Okay,
how
all right.
that's how friendships
Bring
thing.
Bring it.
Me and Andrea fight whether we have anything we disagree on or not. It's just scrap, right? Not everyone can be an MVP. There is no chance that Frank Grimberg would ever be an MVP.
Oh, that's
That is so low.
Womp, womp, womp. Hey,
Wow.
Frank, if you're out there, man, don't let the haters stop you from doing your thing.
You need to write a blog post, how to be an MVP if you're Frank Grimberg.
Love it.
Oh,
Love it.
there you go.
I would pick
Even
him up
Frank
right
Grimberg could be an MVP.
Shout out to you, Frank, if you're listening.
Yeah, shout out Frank, friend of the show. Hey, Mona, what are you excited about moving forward? You got this big award, everything's going great. What are you excited about to be working on moving forward? What's like cool and interesting at BlueVoyant? What are customers asking about that you just love working with them on?
So this is gonna sound super nerdy, but so I'm a CIS girl. That's my framework of choice, drug of choice, whatever you want to call it. And one of the things we've been focusing a lot of our time on is bridging the gap between a conversation about frameworks and a conversation about, trench warfare in the SOC, right? And at some point there is these things come together. But what we've realized is as we go through, BlueVoyant does what are called accelerators. They're 4 to 6 week long projects that are really focused on getting you the content that you need, the controls in place from 365 Defender that you need, so you can kind of get off and running. And this is like hands-on keyboard, not like advice and like you do it and I'll watch you kind of stuff, right? Okay. And so in this whole like kind of accelerator world that we live in, what we realized is customers love the implementation, they love the advice, they like the concept of what we're doing for SIM, but SIM is one part of what needs to fit, or SIM and XDR, right, is one part of what needs to fit into these larger, what I'll call like cybersecurity programs, right? And so what we really have been trying to do is draw a connection between where your MDR service or your SOC service interacts with and is part of these larger framework discussions. So what we've done is we've taken some of the high level guidelines of like, where do you want to be when you grow up for CIS, right? There's obviously different stages and ways to approach that. But I've really loved to engage with customers and help them see kind of not just this project, right, that we're delivering for them, or this service that lives on an island, but really try to connect it to these bigger things. And whether that's control drift and helping us, see, okay, we started here and then you emanate a company and then you fired half of your people and then you added another thing, right? I mean, all of those things have cybersecurity implications, right? All of those have change management implications, and all of them come back to, well, what framework and how are you measuring and what metrics are you using to measure those things, right? And we find that customers really are looking for more, right? So when we talk about kind of broadening cybersecurity or talking about cybersecurity as more of a program, that's one really big part of it. The other part I'm really excited about is I believe the future of MDR dissolves the line between internal and external security. And what do I mean by that? Internal and external security, when we think about SIM, usually that's internal security, right? We're looking at what is inside The perimeter, what's inside our network, our people, our devices, our IP ranges, those kinds of things. External security, right, is that, kind of EASM world, right, that threat intelligence world, that everything on the outside that is inferential, maybe intangible, doesn't have the same fidelity, right, that we've been historically talking about on the SIM side, right? And so what we've been really also focused on is trying to figure out new and different ways to bring common CTI use cases into more response actions.
What does CTI stand for?
Like threat intelligence.
Yes.
So if you have a bunch of threat intelligence feeds and you're looking for an outcome in your SIM, most people are pretty disappointed because sticks and taxi, while they're cool to say, are difficult to manage, largely because of a fidelity problem. So my background's in manufacturing. I was a manufacturing engineer for 5 years before I got into cybersecurity. So I think a lot about, like machines in a factory. And it's almost like when you see CTI data, right? It's like circles going on a circle conveyor belt. And we only process circles on this line. You expect a certain fidelity. You need to do a certain workflow to enrich or determine whether that CTI is valuable or not. And then you have to do a disposition, which usually involves some sort of action or some sort of other things that you're going to do after that, right? On the other side, right, on your SOC side, SOC processes squares. Squares are high fidelity alerts that come from awesome tools like Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Identity, the things we were talking about earlier. But what happens a lot of times is people try to process the circles and the squares in the same machine or in the same workflow or with the same tools. Okay. And there's really only a couple of machines that actually can do that. Right.
Okay.
So I think you kind of get where I'm going here, right?
Yeah, I'm following the analogy.
We really do believe that what the customer wants in the box are circles and squares together in the same box.
Right. Makes sense.
That they want them together, right? What is out there?
Single pane of glass, today? Mona. We all want the single pane of glass.
I don't want to call it that because that.
I know it's jargon.
I wear contacts. I'm not a glasses person.
Right.
But I mean it, right? Like the idea is that, if you can find a way to process the circles and the squares with the right workflows, with the right enrichments, with the right escalation paths, you can get to the same outcomes, whether that's taking down a lookalike domain or processing a business email compromise using Defender for Office. Those two things are connected to each other because the domain that was used for that phishing attack needs to come down. That's a response action. And that should be part of the responsibility of your MDR provider, your MSSP, because us just saying, hey, we helped you with the Office side, or we helped you with the containment side, or you need to reset their domain controller credentials. That's not the blast radius. The blast radius is, and these credentials got out, and somebody tried to buy them, and somebody tried to use them, or not, right? So you can tell I'm super excited about this one, right?
Yeah, I can tell. And
but I really do believe that there is a broadening, a definition of when we talk about internal and external security, we talk about determining the blast radius, what the responsibility of the SOC is, and what your responsibility of your managed service provider is, really needs to be about defining the entire blast radius.
Damn. Thank you. That was insightful.
Mic drop. I really am passionate about this stuff, and I think Microsoft has the tools and is the way to deliver these types of outcomes.
I think while that's ambitious, I learned today, can't mention customer name, that's not always the easiest thing, because it was odd to me that this particular customer had a security group, but the security group didn't own the SIM. They had a SIM team that worked with the security group. And I asked why that was. And one of the pains of Sentinel is because of this legacy operation stuff, is that they confirmed we dumped so much more stuff inside our SIM that has nothing to do with security.
Yeah.
So, and they said, we can't just arbitrarily stop using this product and go to something we know we need, because we have to consider the transition of these other business groups that are just dumping their stuff in here to run reports. Right?
So at that point,
that's a different problem. That's data. That's a data ingest telemetry problem.
That's hoarding.
That is a use case mapping. A new feature we just started working on is this idea of data discovery, right? Which is, how do you determine that the log sources you have and the content that you have will result in something, and that you have everything along the way to get there, and everything works along the way to get there. So from my perspective, right, that particular problem, which if they want, you can always just pick a phone call. I'm happy to talk to your customer.
That's where we push people to our partners. They'll tell you.
Honestly, yeah, no. I mean, this is a great use case to say, step back. Let's take a step back. Are we using a log aggregator for a reason, or do we want to make this a security tool? Do we want this to be something that's co-managed, right, where a SIM team can coexist with a SOC team, and you don't have to have this only belongs to one person? Can we do a RACI that's more granular than what you might be able to get? Absolutely. But I definitely think that is one of those unraveling the log sources will lead to where they should go. If you unravel them, you can make a new sweater or something.
Which is harder than the tech. Now you're talking about behavior modification.
Oh, big time. I don't think cybersecurity is actually very much about technology. I actually have an undergraduate degree in anthropology and history, so I actually think cybersecurity is about it's like a people thing. Yeah. I know, right? The most interesting woman you've ever met. Manufacturing, anthropology, history, double major, Microsoft MVP. No, but I do really think in that particular case, I would think about a different ingestion strategy, right? One of the things I love, newer, cooler features is DCRs, so data collection rules, right? And data collection rules give us so much flexibility about what we put where and how we process it and when we decide to process it, right? So it may just be an issue of stepping back and saying what kind of tools are at our disposal to help them separate out or get to the outcomes that they're looking for.
I'd like to you and I talk out of band about that.
Give me a call. Give me a call. You have my number.
Pick up
I have an idea. I've been trying to run by some people, and I'm like, oh, that's just another thing, complexity. I say, but it'll help fix the stuff in the end. And
this is a perfect thing for us to talk about. Yeah, no, if nobody else likes your ideas, bring them to BlueVoyant. We'll help you get to where help you get to your outcomes you're looking for. I'm serious. Like some of the hardest problems, the hardest customers, they don't ask us because we're one of the guys. They ask us because we're the best. So I absolutely would love to help.
Well, you do have the award, so
what you should do is we can't go around choosing favors because all the rest of our guests we get mad. But what you should do at BlueVoyant is get you one of those WWE belts and wear it to the next RSA.
Listen,
you come as wrestlers.
I'm gonna do it. We should
definitely not come as wrestlers.
Dude, actually, Michael will love this. Michael will love this.
Like the Razor Ramon outfit with like the streamers and the pads and everything.
Just give me a year to work out so I don't have a dead bod.
Can I come with a handlebar mustache? I'll get like a hot
Yeah.
If I just rip my shirt off, right?
And that's how Edward got kicked out of RSA. Yeah.
We'll have Rod with a leotard, one of those
Rod leotard.
Rod leotard.
I'll show up as Peter Pan.
Okay.
So, Mona, when it comes to security, what is the number one thing you think customers should be doing to make themselves safer?
Oh, such a hard question. To make themselves safer.
Come here for the easy questions.
Yeah, man. If I interpret it as like an individual, measure twice, cut once.
Without giving away the BlueVoyant secret sauce, because we don't want customers to do it themselves when they can pay you for it.
I mean, honestly, it's not about the money. We care about making the world a better place and a safer place. My personal passion is access management.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot about how you give access to strangers or to not your existing internal people, right? Microsoft facilitates more ways than you can imagine, right? To share credentials or PIM into groups or do things like B2B access packages or GDAP or Lighthouse, right?
Right.
I want everyone to take a look at who's in their Active Directory, see what names you actually have no idea who they are.
But wait, Mona, the easiest thing to do is to just give somebody an AD account and make them an admin, right?
Oh yeah. I'll take global admin for just as long as you actually just don't put an expiration on that. No, don't put an expiration on my global admin. I'll just
shove
standing
them
access.
Called admins, and then you can the admins group just gets admins on all the things, and then
admin group
that's our
inherits
back.
all the admins. Yeah, we're good.
You just need to be able to do their job.
I know, right? But I mean, my thing would be like, please go look at your Active Directory, and if there are people who shouldn't be in your Active Directory who still have guest accounts, if there are people who don't have MFA enabled, those kinds of things, like please.
Andrea, am I all in my Active Directory?
Andrea.
I mean, I just please just go through your Active Directory, and whoever's got a guest account who you shouldn't have one, just please delete them.
Yeah,
there are so many.
Disable them first.
Disable them.
And if somebody complains, just like, oh, didn't know. Nice to meet you. What do you do?
I figured this one. Yeah,
do you have
exactly.
this access? Yeah.
Exactly. And I think especially with SOC or outsourcing to cybersecurity services, right? People just think about the project, or they just think about what they want, what they need for right now. But designing for access in the future, right? I mean, that's my dream. But yeah, please just disable any guest accounts that you have maybe potentially
given. The
given.
governance stack that we have is immense. This amazing consultant that was working with me, and she is just eating it up and is becoming a master at it. And there's so many options, like access packages, reviews, governance, all the B2B controls.
PIM, man.
PIM. And it's not like back in the day where it's like, oh, yeah, you want to come on board as a temporary consultant? Yeah, we'll make you an AD group, and you got to do our security training, and here's a laptop.
You got to use my computer. Here's your laptop. Yeah, man, like that just doesn't, we don't have to do that anymore, right? I mean, if you want to do PAWS and SAWS, so privileged access workstations, or secure access workstations, there's a place for those too, right? If we're making rocket ships or nuclear weapons or whatever, I want confidential computing. I want it everywhere. I want it all over the place, right? But, I also recognize that, if you're going to bring in a consultant, right, there are good ways to bring in a Microsoft consultant, and a good way to tell if you have a good Microsoft consultant is ask them, how do you want me to give you access to your environment? Or ask them what access they need to do their job, right? Because you will quickly determine. Oh, yeah. Oh, you quickly determine who can talk about built-in Microsoft Active Directory roles and the difference between security admin and sec admin in Azure, right? Different roles. I learned that. That was interesting for me. But I mean, everything for me is really today about access management, good policy, good controls.
Andrea asked the best questions.
We just published literally a case study. I don't know if it was this week, but about, I think, what do they call it? The Incredible attack, I think is what it was called. And this was when Microsoft IR went in, and their top 4 recommendations for what you should do. Number 1 was prevent privilege escalation. Number 2 was validate identities and remove permissions. So,
yeah. Well, my IR guys would be so happy that I gave the right answer. So BlueVoyant, we do have our own internal IR team. So, unlike other folks who maybe you just do MDR, we do actually have a full IR team, and they are awesome. But we've been really working on trying to make sure that there is a really good feedback loop for customers around, so what should I be doing? Like, everyone should always have, 1 or 2 things in their back pocket. So I'm glad you tested
the worst thing is having to audit your Active Directory. Let's just call it out.
I don't mind it. We got to do it. We got to do it.
It's going to piss people off. An app owner from 03 is going to be like, I need that account to have domain admin because the engineer for the app told me that it needs it so I can run the thing. And it's just you got to audit it. You got to go in and get all the permissions squared away. You got to start thinking about permissions management, identity management in a much better light, where it's just in time, just enough access. Couldn't agree more. Absolutely.
Yeah. As AD ages, it is becoming more of a liability.
Honestly.
Because it's not necessarily the technology is aging badly. It's the people that use it, right? They're still using old methodologies, so they're putting bad habits. Even if you improve AD, it can't be totally eliminated in the future. I think like data center wasn't going to go away because of the cloud. I never fell for that, but ADs can become a liability, especially you start doing mergers and acquisitions.
Oh, totally. That's the worry. That's why I avoid those projects. I'm not going to lie. It's just like,
I'll take them. We'll take them.
You'll take them, Mona? All right.
Mergers and acquisitions, due diligence, sign us up. Yeah, man.
Whatever.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And Edward's right, because like you get tribal knowledge folks that leave, and then it's like nobody wants to break.
Somebody built some script. Yeah, service account one that does payroll. So
exactly. It's the whole.
God forbid.
Yeah. Needs domain admin. Like, come on. Like,
as Microsoft technology advances, you said something that you BlueVoyant likes to trail 8 to 10 months behind. Let the hype go away, the new shiny, and you guys build upon that. As you continue to evolve your XDR, EDR service offering, do you see different products in the Defender or Azure workloads to take more prominence in your development? And I ask this question very pointedly. How does Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps play in your solution? Or is MDE like, this is the cornerstone?
No, man,
we
are an E5. Yeah, man, we're at E5. So Defender for Cloud Apps, I think from our perspective, we really, again, focus on, what is the out-of-the-box threat detection content out of Defender for Cloud Apps. So round one are any of the threat detection specific content pieces ones you want to focus on? There are parts, right, where we're looking more at, to your point about like access for SaaS apps or who's using, their personal or using their, company login to log into Kayak or, whatever other things, right. Of course. Right. Sorry. Yeah. No. Nobody uses their corporate accounts for personal things to like get points or like miles or stuff like that. Anyways, my point was, right, like doing that as like a first pass kind of a review thing, I think is incredible because that concept of that shadow discovery or that discovery part of Defender for Cloud Apps is incredibly important. That again, though, I mean, once you set the policies and you kind of get your baseline configuration, what you're looking for is drift, and what you're trying to monitor for is drift. And that's not an MDR alert that's going to come through and it's going to say, oh, you drifted. That's going to be, somebody doing an assessment as part of their quarterly reviews or using, some Microsoft usage workshops or other types of things to go back in and help them reassess or redistribute their boundaries, because there's going to be new hires who didn't learn, or, somebody who changed a policy because they didn't like it, or, made some modification where they, changed some ASR rule or something. Right. And that's not necessarily the MDR service, because the MDR service is focused on putting the squares and the circles in the boxes. But there is absolutely an adjacent part of posture, right, that is a reoccurring part of our service that we do ensure, customers get an opportunity to interact with us around, more than just the alerts that come out of the tool. Really, what are the policies? What are the configurations? What sort of, PII, controls do you want to have in place? The one downside that we do see with people using Defender for Cloud Apps is it's one of those, it's just like Defender for Endpoint where you can make any alert for anything you want. So a lot of times, mass volume downloaded, awesome, cool. What else, right? Like what, sometimes those alerts, they just don't quite have enough meat to them, or they are not necessarily security alerts. They're more like DLP alerts or things like that. So in those cases, there's also some opportunity to say, well, and ask the customers, right? Well, what is your policy? I mean, we don't know if Mona should be downloading financial things like in product management. She might have a reason to do that, but the SOC is not going to know.
As we have 5 minutes left, I'm going to ask you to change your hat. So symbolically take this hat off, please. Just do it. All right. Now put this other hat on as leadership.
Ask what it is first. I would never do it without it.
She
the
said,
hat?
Yeah.
In my head, I think it's a crown. So I like interpret hat maybe a little bit differently.
So here's my question. You have the limelight now, and there's good things about being in the limelight. Everybody wants to come work for you. The bad thing about the limelight is I'm going to pay somebody on your company all this. How do you wake up worrying about the people are our strength, and how do we keep the people here? Because poaching is a thing. There's a lot of goodness that can come taking some of your senior people, bringing them over. That will flatten out a lot of people's timelines, because obviously they can't share intellectual properties and stuff like that, get in trouble, but it's the skill and the way of doing it. Does that factor in at all? And like, I know we're doing this, but never lose the fact that people make us what we are.
Actually, I was just talking to Caleb Freitas. Caleb, right? We were talking about this today, about how we build better routes to internally within our organization to promote and grow Microsoft talent. something I started about 1.5 years ago was our Microsoft incentive program, where we actually pay people to take Microsoft exams, and we incent them to study, and we incent them to do their homework. I think some people say, oh, well, that's part of your job, you have to do it. And I don't think that's the case. I think people make a choice with their time. And I think it's really important to recognize that, that is a crucial part of our success, is having a shared library of what we all learned together. So I think about that as kind of like a core thing. Everybody who works at BlueVoyant goes through the Microsoft education program, right? That's SC200, SC300 in some cases, MS500, even though it's going to get retired, AZ500, SC100, right? We really do encourage and believe, right, that growth and change is part of being Microsoft. Full stop. The second is I encourage everybody to find projects, find things that make them happy, right? I tell all of my coworkers, everybody works in product. Everyone works in sales, but actually everyone works in product. And what does that mean? It means that everybody is a stakeholder in the future of what we design. So something I think that keeps people here is that they feel like they're part of something. And being in product means that you have to go and ask. People will always give you ideas, but you going and being the one to ask matters. And so I think that's a really important piece, is always asking, what could we be doing to keep you engaged or keep you happy, keep you here. And I'd say the last part is, like, I really do believe in the leadership of our organization, and I believe that what we're working on is important, and there's just, you can't fake it. There are people who want it, and there are people who don't. You can't fake it. If somebody wants to go and make more money somewhere, or if somebody wants to, be motivated by something else, like, I can't stop that. There's going to be a finite ceiling to that. But for me, it's more about finding something I can work on and dedicate my career to. And what I decided is to find a group of people who want those same things, and just never let them go. So, I mean, we've had an incredible time here at BlueVoyant. Very little turnover, in terms of our technical leadership teams, our teams who are out there evangelizing. And I really think it's a testament to, I'm also not the only one carrying the torch. I really believe that there are, probably 10, maybe more people at BlueVoyant who are just as passionate as me about this and care just as much about the success of our customers as I do. And when you find that, and you find other people like that, I mean, you guys all know that feeling. Like, you know what it feels like. I know each of you do. I could see it in your eyes. You know what it's like to work with those people. And it's just like, when you have it, it could be this company, it could be a wherever company, it's, but it's about finding the people. And I really do think that having a shared mission, having shared ownership, ensuring everybody feels like they're part of the product team really is part of why I think our team has been so successful at BlueVoyant.
She just crushes these answers, and I love all the points she just said.
No, she's using Chat GPT. She's taking our question. I see her hands moving.
No. 100%
Oh,
me.
man.
Don't you dare try to give the computer credit.
I'm gonna get a job at BlueVoyant one day with a speech.
Hey man, we do have some open positions. I had to just real quick. We're hiring for sales engineers, we're hiring for delivery engineers, right? If you're a Microsoft person who wants to find your people. The bat signal, it's up. This is your sign.
Plug that.
Sales.
Oh man, yeah, she's crushing.
I can sell maple syrup to a Canadian. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yes, I can. I can absolutely do it.
Well, I can't think of anyone better than Mona to help celebrate our 150th episode. We hit 150 today.
Thank you. Congratulations,
That's
every
awesome.
single one of you. I mean,
And
truly.
Brody will celebrate with some syrup.
I will. I
Is he
have
Canadian?
a few kegs in the back, and I'm getting on it tonight. Yeah, the syrup's going into me.
What grade are we talking? Dark? Light? Where are we?
Quebec maple.
Ooh.
Fresh squeezed.
Fresh squeezed.
Fresh squeezed, yes, by lumberjacks in the forest.
Grab
Yeah.
a tree and squeeze it right out of them, right?
Ring it out. Yeah.
Well, this has been great. Sorry we got 2 to 3 minutes over the start time. We didn't mean to leave you in the green room. We saw you finish drinking your beer, and we brought you on.
Oh, I am.
I can't wait to see you in Atlanta.
Yeah, man.
I thought you didn't come down here. I was asking Jeff C. What did I do to P. Mono? I did cancel Atlanta, right? And they're like,
No.
My manager asked me about it. I'm like, I don't know. So we'll see. I I don't have anything else. I mean, you validated that Microsoft Defender for Cloud is your favorite app. I appreciate that.
Kind of.
You know,
Microsoft Defender for Cloud apps is a double-edged sword and is great. Microsoft Defender for Cloud is also great, and I can talk about that for a million years. So next time I come on the show, let's talk about Defender for Cloud. But this has been so incredible, such an incredible opportunity to talk to you guys. Honestly,
Well, we appreciate it. I mean,
I just think you guys are great. The things you're doing for our community are great. The questions you guys asked are great. I'm so thankful for the opportunity, truly.
We're thankful for you, and congratulations to BlueVoyant, by the way.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to
Wow.
Caleb. Call me. Let's have a beer. Call me, Caleb. And I am I'm stoked for you guys. I've been a fan. I mean, we all work with different partners, but I have a special place for you guys for sure.
Yeah, and you other longtime listeners, first-time callers, feel free, reach out. Find me on LinkedIn. Would love to connect with you guys.
I just added you. We weren't friends until today. Now we're friends.
Yeah.
I know.
Oversight.
Definite oversight.
It works sometimes. I think you were friends, and she unfriended you. And
I don't even know how to do that actually on LinkedIn. I don't. I would have to go.
She did an audit. She's like,
audit your AD.
That's right.
Yeah. That's what I really need to do. Is exactly.
Yeah.
If you didn't do your verified identity, you're out, man. So go and verify your
that
identity.
essentially gives Brody global admin rights over.
Do your Microsoft Entra, or verify yourself on LinkedIn, and then you don't have to worry about me deleting you, thinking that you're a bot.
Is that official? Did you just announce something?
I'll bleep that.
Okay.
Oh,
Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody.
Ed just applied for work at BlueVoyant.
Yeah.
I probably know that.
It's all good, Edward. It's all good.
It's all right. It's okay.
That never happened.
right.
Thank you, Mona, and thank you,
Oh,
everybody,
you
for
guys are
listening
great.
and watching.
No, I really
Bye,
appreciate it.
everybody.
We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll call you,
Thank you,
Mona.
everyone.
Yeah.
150.
Bye. Au revoir.
150, baby.
All right.
150.
And
Woo!
broadcast.